Good evening to everyone. Thank you all for coming. When I arrived, sabi ko, wow, this is a full house. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. People ask me to tell my story because most of you probably know me only as the widow of Jesse. Something that I'm really proud of because my husband naman was a matino at mahusay na lingkod bayan. But because I'm offering myself as a possible future vice president, I don't think it's ever nearly enough that my qualification is just being the widow of Jesse. So, if you allow me to tell my story to you tonight, I'm a first-time politician. The first time I ran was in 2013 when I ran as candidate for representative of the 3rd District of Camarines Sur. Before that, I was just a lawyer. This is a story I've been telling people that it was EDSA that brought Jesse and me together. I'm a provinciana at heart. I was born in Naga, raised in Naga. That's where if you know where Naga is, it's in the Bicol region. That's where I spent my grade school and high school years. I only went to Manila for college. I attended the UP School of Economics. But I'm the eldest in the family, and my dad has been a long-time practicing lawyer who eventually became a regional trial court judge. And because I'm the eldest in the family, I was sort of presumed to be the one who was expected to follow the footsteps of my dad. So when I went to UP, the entire family was expecting me to go straight to law school after college graduation. When I was in grade school and high school, I was excelling in school, but I was very content to stay in the background. Hindi ako yung leader na nasa unahan. I was just, kung may play, ako yung production staff. Ganun yung aking buhay, but my political awakening was in second year college when Ninoy was assassinated. I was living in the dorm inside UP. Ninoy was assassinated. It was really my political awakening. Pumila ako sa Santo Domingo Church ng dawn. Sumali ako sa napakaraming rallies, which eventually led to EDSA. And when EDSA happened, I was also there. Sa EDSA, I was in, when Cory was running for president, I was in Luneta, I was everywhere, I was in Liwasan. I did all the works. Then EDSA happened in 1986. That was the year I graduated. I was so inspired to make my own contribution to the country. Noon pa po, when I graduated, President Cory was our graduation speaker. Nakiusap ako sa daddy ko, if I would be allowed to work for government even only for a year. I didn't expect that I would be allowed, but he allowed me to try government, basta sabi niya, basta isang taon lang. I was planning to find work in one government office in Manila. But right after graduation, I went home to Naga for what was supposed to be my summer break. Pag uwi ko sa Naga, nabalitaan ko that there was a government office and 2 of my former high school classmates who graduated from another school, also of the same course, natanggap dun sa government office na yon. And sabi nila, okay, kasi yung boss okay, very young, very proactive, etc., etc. So I said, why don't I give it a try? But I learned that the new boss in that particular office, the office was called Bicol River Basin Development Program Office. It's a parang NEDA siya, but was just in charge of Bicol development. I learned that the new boss was the nephew of the governor. Kaibigan ng tatay ko yung governor. And that was right after martial law. So sabi ko, hihingi ako ng recommendation sa governor kasi baka yun yung magki-clinch na I would have an easier time being accepted dahil may recommendation ako. So I went for an interview. I had with me my folder with my application form, yung sulat, handwritten letter of the governor was on top of it. Pagpasok ko for the interview, the boss was going to interview me, and the boss turned out to be my husband. Taga-Naga din siya, but it was the first time I was meeting him. I knew his family, but I didn't know of him. So pumasok ako, i-interviewin niya ako, but when he got hold of my folder, he saw the handwritten letter of the governor. Nephew siya ng governor. Ang una niya sa akin tanong, "What's this?" Ako naman sabi ko, "Letter of recommendation, sir." Sabi niya, "What's this for?" Doon pa lang parang binuhusan ako ng malamig na tubig. Right then and there, I knew that hindi yun makakatulong. Tapos nag-lecture na siya sa akin. "Don't you know that this is a different time, blah, blah, blah." Alam niya na umuwi ako because I was inspired by EDSA. He was telling me that he also went home. He was a junior executive then at the San Miguel Corporation. He was also inspired by EDSA. He also went home, wanted to try government. Pareho kami ng kwento. Pero pinagalitan niya ako because of the endorsement letter. And after the interview, the first thing he told me was, "The position you're applying for has already been filled up." So sabi ko, patay, hindi na talaga ako matatanggap. I went home, told my dad, sabi ko, wala nang bakante. Sabi ng daddy ko, "Oh, yun na yung sign na talaga maglo-law school ka na." I had about 6 weeks before going back to Manila. 2 weeks after the first interview, I got a call back. Ang sabi dun sa call back, if I was interested to be interviewed again, but not anymore for the position I was applying for. There was another position that was vacant. If I was interested in trying it out, so I went. Pagdating ko doon, yung asawa ko ulit, siyempre hindi ko pa siya asawa noon. Yung asawa ko ulit yung kumausap, sabi niya, "There's another position, but this other position would require writing skills. Would you be interested?" Sabi ko naman, yes. Sabi niya, can you write an essay now so that we can assess if you're good enough for it? Sabi ko naman, anong essay? What topic? Sabi niya, any topic under the sun. So I wrote about the role of Cory Aquino in the EDSA Revolution. Yun pala yung nakapabilib sa kanya, yung sinulat ko. I don't know if it was my writing skill or the topic. Pero I was accepted. I think 2 days after the interview, I was told that I can start the following week already. So I started. Less than a year after my first day of work, we were married already. I was married to the boss already. I was 21. Eto trivia, my first day of work was August 18 of 1986. The plane crash happened August 18 of 2012, exactly 26 years later. Hindi ko alam kung coincidence yun o whatever. But my husband was 7 years older than I am. When he wanted to get married already, naalala ko noon, August ako pumasok, December gusto niya ng mamanhikan. Sinabi ko siyempre takot ako sa tatay ko, sinabi ko sa nanay ko that Jessie wanted to ask for my hand in marriage already. My mom talked to my dad, sabi ng daddy ko, hindi ko yan haharapin. Nagkakakilala pa lang, bakit mag-aasawa na? So I told my husband, naalala ko, I told my husband, sabi ng husband ko, sige, pero pupunta ulit ako sa May, meron nung congressional elections. First congressional elections after EDSA. Active na siya, helping other candidates. Sige, babalik ako after the congressional elections, pero whether harapin niya ako o hindi, dadalhin ko na yung magulang ko. And he did. Namanhikan siya, but when he was asking for my hand in marriage, I remember my dad telling him, hindi pa pwede mag-asawa yung anak ko, kasi mag-aabogado pa yan. So my husband assured my dad that, he promised my dad that even if we're married already, he'd make sure that I'd still become a lawyer. Ano naman yon? When we got engaged, I quit work. Siyempre, nag-resign ako because it was unethical to stay on. I looked for another work. Ang nahanap ko kasi there wasn't too many opportunities naman in Naga. Ang nahanap ko was a teaching position in a local university. Naging college professor ako. I was teaching economics during the day. And hindi pa yata kami kinakasal, in-enroll na ako ng asawa ko. So I was teaching during the day and going to law school at night.
Kahit mayayaman ang mga kaharap ni Leni nung araw na yon na nagkaroon siya ng panayam sa Alabang Country Club, kitang-kita mo ang kasimplihan ng kanyang pagkatao sa mga katagang binanggit niya, sa storyang hinayag niya. Pero kahit simple, makikita mong siya ay matalinong tao. Kahit simple, makikita mong siya ay may humility or kababaang loob. Kahit simple, ay practical siya, lalo-lalo na sa pang-araw-araw na buhay. Gusto niyang makatulong sa mga tao. Bakit nga ba? Kasi gusto niyang maglingkod sa gobyerno. Humingi siya ng permiso sa kanyang ama kung po pwede siyang magtrabaho ng 1 taon bago siya magtuloy sa pag-aaral ng abogasya. Alam naman nating lahat na ang pagtatrabaho sa gobyerno ay napakaliit ng sweldo. Pero hindi naman dahil sa sweldo kaya siya nagpumilit na magtrabaho sa gobyerno, di ba? Kundi gusto niyang makatulong sa mga taong paglilingkuran ng gobyernong iyon. Buti na nga naisip niya yon. Dahil kung hindi niya makikilala si Leni Robredo, ang kanyang magiging asawa at magiging ama ng kanyang mga anak. Natutuwa nga ako nung kinakwento niya kung paano sila nagkita ni Jessie, na hindi nagustuhan ni Jessie yung pagbibigay niya ng reference letter na galing sa governor ng Naga. Nagkataon lamang na naging kaibigan ng kanyang ama yung governor ng Naga, kaya niya naisip yon. Yung pala, ay napakataas naman talaga ng kalidad ng pagkatao nito si Jessie. Ayaw ni Jessie yung mga palakasan na ganun. Pero buti, siguro kasi nabighani naman si Jessie dun sa ganda ni Leni, ay tinawag niya uli para alukin ito ng panibagong posisyon. At pero hindi pa rin na bulag si Jessie sa ganda ni Leni. Kinailangan pa niyang humingi ng isa pang test, yung paggawa nga ng essay, para makita niya kung ano ang laman ng utak ni Leni. At according to Leni, talaga naman na-impress si Jessie. Kaya nga, ilang buwan lang yon, September, October, November, December, 4 na buwan lang gusto na niyang pakasalan si Leni. Buti na lang nandiyan yung tatay. Sinabi, sandali lang. Hindi pa handa ang anak ko. Mag-aaral pa nga yan eh. So binigyan pa uli ng mga ilang pang buwan. 4 na buwan uli. Sabi ni Jessie. Pero pagbalik ko ng Mayo, dadaling ko na mga magulang ko. Kasi gusto ko na talagang hingin ng kamay mo sa iyong ama. Para talagang pelikula. Pero pelikula nung unang panahon. Nakakatawa. Itong series na to, ng storya ng isang simpleng Maybahay, ay may 5 bahagi. So, antayin nyo na lang yung mga ibang mga bahagi i-upload ko. At sabay-sabay nating kilalanin kung sino nga ba si Leni Robredo.